This is a really important Red Table Talk on alopecia. Considering what I've been through with my own health and what happened at the Oscars, thousands have reached out to me with their stories. I'm using this moment to give our alopecia family an opportunity to talk about what it's like to have this condition and to inform people about what alopecia actually is.
I'm trying to understand how this is relevant to. Never mind. Let's hear what else she has to say before we start to comment.
Now, about Oscar night, my deepest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile. The state of the world today, we need them both.
Interesting.
And we all actually need one another more than ever. Until then, Will and I are continuing to do what we have done for the last 28 years, and that's keep figuring out this thing called life together. Thank you for listening.
What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. What do you guys think about Jada's public service announcement about alopecia and giving this whole thing a face, especially considering everything that's happened with the Oscars? Now, I just did a video yesterday specifically highlighting how Will Smith has leaned into some version, in my opinion, of witchcraft in order to evaluate what his future was going to be. And he predicted that catastrophe would take over his life and that he would lose everything and that his daughter specifically was in trouble and that he couldn't save her. Now, I'm not using this as a coincidence to bring them and highlight the toxicity behind Jada, but one thing that I do have a question about specifically is what relevance does alopecia specifically have with the slap at the Oscars? Now, I think that Chris Rock could have specifically made a joke about anything relative to Jada, and Will Smith would have came up there and slapped him. And as a matter of fact, if you go back, and I've done extensive shows and breakdowns on everything related to that slap at the time that it happened, if you really pay attention to what was going on, Jada actually kind of laughed prior to Will Smith putting on his cape and running up there and slapping a comedian for doing what he do. And I always say that if you don't want to be the butt of a joke, then you don't want to go to any event where a comedian is heading up the conversation. More importantly, when you really deep dive and you take into consideration everything that she said, right? And she said that I feel like these two men are capable basically of having this conversation amongst themselves. A, she said that we need them both. And then B, she went into the whole marriage thing and that her and Will were going to continue to figure out this thing called life together. I have an interesting and a unique perspective, and then I have a question for you guys, right? The first thing is, she said these men are capable of figuring this thing out. And I'm wondering, what is there to figure out from Chris Rock? He has done nothing, and I repeat, absolutely nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, what I see Chris Rock doing is giving us a playbook of exactly how to handle adversity and problems, because A, he did not respond and he didn't make a bigger fool of not only himself, but the people that he's supposedly representing in the Oscars or on public national television, considering that there was a lot of people that had a vested interest in seeing people be successful. It was the first time that the Oscars had been directed by a black crew and a black director. And I'm not the blackety black or the blackest person on the block, but I can understand when people move a specific way in order to bring validation and to bring visibility into the expertise of someone and when they stand on a specific purpose. Secondly, the whole idea of her and Will are going to continue to figure out this thing called life. Will Smith's life did not start to unravel until he found himself being subjected by the will of a woman that is unruly. That's just my personal opinion, right? And so it's not a we need to figure it out it's a Will that needs to figure it out. Will needs to get his life together. Will needs to take control of his family. Will needs to take control of an unruly woman. And I'm in a unique position to speak to the whole marriage aspect of it because I've often said that I don't believe in divorce. But the question that I have for you guys, is what should Will do? Should he focus all of his effort and his energy towards taking control of his life? A. B. Should he then continue to move in this direction called self-healing and focus 100% of his energy on himself only? Or C. Should he get a divorce? It's that simple for me. And no one can tell anybody what to do in their relationship, but all we can do is speculate, and they're the perfect opportunity or the perfect couple to speculate about because they live their life so publicly. They benefited from it financially, and so as a result, they also deserve the criticism in addition to the love they've gotten over all of the years and money that they've received over the years and living their life publicly as a influencer couple, movie star / BCD level career for the woman, right? It's one of the reasons why I moved the way that I move. Rita, and obviously I'm not anywhere near on the level of Will Smith, but it's relevant, right? Because there's lessons to be learned and taken from everybody's situation. Rita, at some point, has started becoming more visible as a result of me and doing the show with me. And so at some point I said, you know what? It just doesn't make sense. Her role, and who knows, you may see a little bit more of Rita in the future, but for right now, her role is not to be more visible, but to be a helpmeet. And so when I see the Red Table Talk and I see Jada say things that she said, and you all seen the clip just a second ago, it still perplexes me how she continues to do this thing called life without Will while he's publicly admitted that he's going through something. He's checked into a rehab, reportedly or allegedly. And she continues to do this thing called life with her mother and her daughter at the Red Table Talk. I wish them the best. I hope that y'all praying for Will, but everything that I see on this woman, in my personal opinion, is defiance, a need to be right, no real love and support in her actions for her man. And I see a woman that needs to be helped deeply, not from outside, but from within, with changed behavior. And then more importantly, from a man that actually stands up for himself and establishes hierarchy. Otherwise, it's going to be bad marriage for life. I'd love to get your thoughts and opinion. That's just my take specifically. I know I have a unique view based off of the way that I see things and how I live my life, and me being successfully married, not just married, successfully married for the last 18 years. But there's a difference, in my opinion, between being married and being successfully married. And I'd rather be one and leave the other behind. But I'd love to get your thoughts. Make sure you check out the Patreon. Link is in the description. We're doing some awesome things in there. And there has never been a better time to subscribe to the Patreon than the beginning of the month, when we're doing amazing things with an amazing network of people that continue to grow and trend in this upward, forward direction, the direction that you should want to go in. In addition to that, if you need to kick it with me personally, holla at me at antondaniels413@gmail.com, and then we're going to get you scheduled for that private session. But in the meantime, pay attention to the behavior. This is the identity of women that you don't want to subject yourself to, because it's going to turn out bad for you eventually. And again, that's just my humble opinion. I want to get your thoughts. Make sure you leave them in the comments. Hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. And more importantly, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue to do awesome things together. Family. I'm going to holler at you in a little bit. Peace.